We're back here for the Senior Pro Shoot-Off. This weekend's coverage also brought to you by Lancaster Archery Supply. We got Wayne Reisner, who is currently in 5th place with a score of 412. Bill McCall, a Matthews shooter, at 415. Alan Connor also at 415. And Brian Jones in 2nd place at 417. And Michael Braden rounds out the top 5 there. Actually, he's leading the group at 420.
And this is Michael's first tournament as a senior pro. How about that?
Yeah, that's fantastic. He's no stranger to the game, though. He's been doing it a long time and doing it really well.
Well, obviously, if he's a senior pro.
Hey, some of these guys come out of retirement that haven't been doing it for years just to come out and shoot senior pros. So
I give Mike a hard time because we're good friends, but I tell you what, Mike is a amazing competitor, very talented shooter.
Absolutely.
And super proud of him to be up there leading this weekend.
There's two guys right there, Alan Connor and Bill McCall. Now, they have been doing this for a long time. I remember when I was a kid watching Alan Connor win the ASA World Championships in, I believe it was 93 or 94.
Was that against Dave Stepp?
That year was against, I believe Dave Stepp and Shannon Cottle that year. Wayne Reisner, he's been around a long time as well. He took a little hiatus and then come back. That's one of those guys that really just was prepping for senior pro.
Sure. All right, so Michael starts out with a good 10. This one looks a little low. We'll see how this is called.
Brian Jones, last year he's also a rookie to the senior pro class.
Brian shoots a 5, first target in Warthog. Alan Connor looks a little low left as well on the muley. Looks like an 8 line, but it's going to be close. 8. Billy McCall looks like he made a really good shot on this lynx. Again, this is the first time any of these guys are really seeing the lynx. It's a brand new target this year, so it's a tough one to judge. It's actually a really huge body, and it's
a stumpy little target.
Yeah, it's a tough target to judge. Nice quick move. Good move by Billy McCall, shooting a 12.
That actually that puts him. Yeah, it's exactly right. Puts him within 3 points of the leader.
All right, so this will be arrow number 2, and we did have a little bit of a change there after the first arrow. Michael Braden maintained his lead, and Billy McCall moved all the way from 4th to 2nd.
Yeah.
And then we had Alan Connor move from 3rd to 2nd. So a little bit of a shift there. Kind of interested to see if these guys hit left like the women as well.
Yeah, so far, not seeing a lot of the left and right out of these guys.
Okay.
Really high shot on the muley.
Billy shot the deer there for an 8, actually. So, but I tell you what, it's amazing that Billy McCall is shooting this year. Took a 40-foot fall last year.
Yeah, it worked there. He fell out of a tree.
Yeah.
In the hospital for a while.
For Brian Jones on the mule deer.
We had a 12 for Alan Connor on the lynx. 5 for Brian Jones on the muley. Michael Braden on the warthog. It looks a little low. It's going to be an 8.
Looks like he still maintains a
Wayne Reisner Looked like he's really close. He's might just be above the 12, but it's really close. It might have the top of it. It's a good shot. It's the best shot we've seen so far on the javelina, other than Sharon Carpenter right out of the gate.
That's right.
Hit that target, but so far it seems like that javelina's been the hardest target. All right, so here we go. Target number 3 for the senior pros. We still have Michael Braden leading. He's been leading from the start. He's at a 438. Alan Connor and Billy McCall are both tied for second at a 435. And then for fourth, we have a 432 at Wayne Reisner. And in fifth, we have Brian Jones at 427. Alan didn't take very long to shoot that shot.
No, and he put it right in the middle of the 10 ring.
Draw back and get her done.
Looks like I see a 12 on that lynx.
Wayne shoots a really slow moving shot.
This looks like a pretty good round for these guys.
All right, so Billy, who's currently tied for second, looks like he shoots a dead center 10.
Again, that's a good shot on a javelina.
Wayne Reisner looks like he's right at the top of the 12.
But he called the
Might
upper
be
on
off.
this one.
Okay, so he's a 10. Braden hit a little bit left on that muley.
There's a little bit of that left in, and we see
Yep,
again.
10. This lynx, I believe, might be the closest target out here, but people are pounding it. For being a new target, everybody seems to be wearing that thing out.
Yeah, the nice thing about the lynx is you can kind of see the scoring rings, so it helps, with the aiming aspect of things as well.
And for Alan Connor, a 10 for Alan. Let's check the board after 3 targets.
So Michael Braden had a 5-point lead coming into this between Alan Connor and Billy McCall. He's only 3 points ahead of Brian Jones, but currently Mike's sitting at a 448, and we still have Alan Connor and Billy McCall tied at a 445, only 3 points behind. So it's getting close. And Wayne Reisner is making a move. He's at 442. He's only 3 points behind Alan and Billy. So we'll see if anybody takes a risk here towards the end of this. We have 2 shots left. This is arrow number 4. And if anybody's within 10 points of Mike, which at the time does look like somebody's going to be within 10 points, we're going to go into a final 6th arrow. So they could have 3 arrows to catch him.
It's a good shot of Michael Braden there.
Yeah.
Coming into his anchor, shooting the wrist strap release. Not a lot of guys shoot that in the pro classes these days, but Michael has been shooting it forever and does it
And
better,
he shoots it really
better
well.
than anybody.
Yeah, he shoots it really well.
Billy didn't look too happy with that shot. He just executed.
So Dale Jones, or Brian, sorry. we have Dale, which he's been shooting for probably as long as Brian.
No relation, though.
Yeah. Brian shoots a 10. Michael Braden shoots a 10 on the lynx. Wayne Reisner on the muley. Looks like he's going to be a 10 just left of the 12.
All right, for Wayne, we have a 10 for Wayne. Good score.
And
For
Billy McCall on the Warthog. looks like he's close, but I think he's going to be just left.
It's either a 10 or an 8. It's
Yep.
super close. I don't think it's going to cut the 12. but
No, it looks
just a hair left. Again, left. That's what
10.
we're seeing.
He'll take that. He smiled a little bit. Must have been closer than what we
It
thought.
looked close to me.
This looks like a good shot on the javelina.
I'm going to
For
call
Alan
that one
Connor.
a 12 from here.
It's right towards the top of it. So he's a 10.
Yeah, that was another close one.
All right, so here we go. We're going into the 5th arrow, and Michael Braden's led from the start. He's currently at a 458. He's got a 3-point lead over Alan Connor and Billy McCall, who are both tied for second at a 455. And then we have Wayne Reisner in 4th at a 452, and Brian Jones in 5th at a 449. We're going into the 5th arrow. They should be within 10, and we'll go into a final 6th arrow pressure point shot here after this. Is Billy taking aim? Billy looks like he shoots a really pretty good, relaxed shot.
Yeah, he
Didn't-
does.
He didn't look happy with that at first, but then the fist pump,
Yeah.
he was like, "Oh no, oh yes."
You know, sometimes it's amazing how forgiving the bows are.
Yep.
And you make a shot that it's just, you don't know how it hit, but it did.
And that was on the long muley too, I think, for Billy. It looks like he 12'd it.
We have an upper call on the links. First up, Brian Jones, a 10.
So Brian shoots a 10 on the Havy, which is one of the longest targets out here, toughest targets out here. Alan Connor comes really close to this one, but it's a 10.
Alan's been all around him.
So Billy and Alan were just tied going into this shot for second, and I believe Billy McCall with this shot on the muley will take second place. But we still have one arrow to go, if he can hold on to it. It looks like Michael Braden should have this one. Called an upper on this links, so that's a 10 for Wayne Reisner. And Michael Braden. Michael just shoots an 8 high.
That's all he needs.
But that gap, that just made a difference. So I believe Billy McCall will take the lead with that shot. Because Michael shoots an 8 and Billy shot a 12. So that was a 4-point swing and they had a 3-point gap. So now with one arrow to go, Billy McCall is taking the lead from Michael Braden.
Tell you what's awesome, you know, I'm not a spring chicken anymore by any means, but those guys right there is the guys I've looked up to for a long time as a shooter, watching them through the years, and have had, you know, a good relationship with each and every one of them. They're all just great people. You know, they're great people outside of just shooting. You know, they're good people to be around. Brian there, he and I have been close friends for a long time. Apparently his eyes are failing him.
If you
these
see,
days.
yeah, if people see what he's doing right there, that's actually, you can spin your binos around, look through that side, and it works as a magnifying glass so that
And
you
it
can
works
see,
really good.
yeah, see really minutely where your indicator's at, what yardage, make sure you properly set it.
Brian, are you ready? First up, currently at 459. 7 points, 8 points.
Brian's the former owner, actually, of Scott Archery.
How long did he own Scott?
Well, he married Melanie Scott, and Bill Scott, which was Melanie's father, started Scott Archery. So it's since the inception of Scott Archery, you know, Melanie Scott has been part of it, and that's his wife. So since it started, I guess it's
Yeah,
kind of the
long time.
best answer there.
Well, he should have taken a risk.
He did.
Should have taken a
That
risk. He
looks
did
really,
shoot at a
really
14.
close.
Looking for a 14.
But he
Oh,
just
is that
missed
left?
it. Just left, barely. Yep.
467.
But good for him taking a chance. Brian was currently at a 459, so he was 8 points out of the lead. So he had to take a shot at that. All right, so we've got Wayne Reisner coming up next. Wayne's currently in 4th place, and he is sitting at a 462, 5 points away from our leader, Billy McCall. So, again, I expect Wayne to take a shot at this 14. You know, it does help when somebody shoots at it. Sometimes you can see that arrow hole down there.
It can definitely help. I've seen that happen numerous times. And plus, when you watch somebody do it, it gives you that feeling of, okay, I'm not going to be the only one that takes a risk. So.
And I can see that hole from where we're at, which is about the same distance as Wayne is away from that target. I can barely see it. Doesn't mean I can see it through my scope. But,
right.
But you know, it does help you narrow in on that
It does.
14 when you have something a hole or something to aim off of other than just the radius of that 8-ring core. That looks good.
Ooh, I think that's there. That was impressive.
Oh, it must have been just under.
Yeah.
Can we see the arrow hole there? Let's see. It must have been
Little bit
just
low
underneath
right.
it. Yep. Just.
I think that's
Just
I
off
think
of
that's
that.
the only right arrow I've seen in all these shots.
It looked good from here, but the shaft was in the way, so it was really
Right.
hard to even make a call on that.
That puts him at a 470 for a total.
So it's nighttime out here. You guys can see the use of the umbrella out there. It's these stadium lights are super bright, and
Some kind of powerful LEDs, I would imagine.
yep. And the reason they're using that is to shade the peep, so there's not a really bad glare off your lens or off of the peep sight. Because there's a couple really powerful stadium lights behind us.
Yeah, and it's really calm too, so it's not a wind issue.
All right. So Alan Connors currently in 3rd.
It looks like a 10 right where Emily and
Yep.
Connie and almost
Alan
everyone
Connors
has
at a
hit that target.
465, shoots a solid 10. And now we have 2 shooters left, Michael Braden, who's currently at a 466, and Billy McCall, who's at a 467. So if either one of these guys, if Michael was to shoot an 8, then Alan Connor would have a shot moving up, and Billy McCall would still be tied with Alan Connor. But I believe Billy has more rings now, so Billy would. Well, they'll shoot off first place, actually. That's the only place that isn't broken on rings. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see if Michael can regain his lead. He held it after day 1, held it after day 2, led all the way through the shoot-off until this last shot.
Actually, I think Brian Jones was leading the first day. Michael shot a little bit better today to actually take the lead, and that looks like a dead center 10.
Yep, another safe
on that
10.
Deer.
10 for Michael Brady. He is our current leader.
All right, so Billy McCall just needs to shoot a 10 on this target to win. So, I mean, what do you do? Shoot a 14? Shoot a 14, right?
Yeah, I think we should get the crowd chanting 14 real quick.
Billy's pulling out his glasses, double check his sight.
You know, I mentioned earlier about Billy falling out of a tree, actually doing work, and he was 40 feet high and fell straight on his back. And, you know, there's been people fall from much shorter distances and die.
Yeah.
So.
And he was messed up for a while. I
he
talked to
was.
him right after it happened, and he didn't know if he'd be able to shoot or what would end up happening. He was thankful that, you know, he didn't think he'd have any permanent damage, but geez, to see him here at the first 3D tournament leading in this situation, just have to shoot a 10 to win, it's pretty amazing.
It is.
It's dead quiet.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's maybe
that'll
a
seal the
12.
deal.
That may be a 12, but regardless, it's a 10, and that's a win for Bill McCall.
It's dead center 10. That's got to feel good for Billy.
I'm sure it does.